Welcome to day 22 of Yoga Connection. Today is connecting to awareness. And this is something we've been practicing now for 22 days. And the thing that really is so beautiful about yoga is that we've talked about the nervous system. We're exercising in a way that we're raising the heart rate, raising the blood pressure. But with our breath, we're lowering that down and connecting into the parasympathetic system. And one of my teachers, Christina Sell, she said, as we stress the physical body, but also use the breath to calm down the nervous system, this is like a supernatural version of awareness. So just the physical practice of yoga is awareness. And throughout today's practice, we're going to practice just simply being aware of the hand, being aware of the foot, the shoulder, so that we can fine tune our sense of awareness so that when we step off the mat, it translates into the rest of our lives. So today we'll start in tabletop and get moving. Also, if you have one or two blocks, place the blocks on opposite ends of the mat. If you only have one, I'll show you when to transition it to the other side. Again, you can use a water bottle if that feels best. Starting on hands and knees, coming just to a neutral spine, so tabletop pose. Pushing down through the hands so that the shoulder blades reach apart slightly. Pulling the core towards the spine so the lower back is long. And then releasing the feet, the ankles, and the shins. Inhale, dropping the belly, opening the heart, coming into cow pose. And exhale, rounding the back, coming into cat. Inhaling again, opening the heart, coming into cow. Exhale, rounding the back for cat pose. Taking 3 more rounds at your own pace. Really becoming aware of just the breath here, how it feels with each movement, and even how the sensation shifts when the breath changes. Taking one last round at your own pace. And then stepping that right knee forward a little bit, stepping the right foot back, turning the right toes back, and then placing the right hand underneath the shoulder. The left arm will raise for supported side plank. You can stay here or you can raise that back leg. If you have the back leg raised and you want to add a quad stretch, you can reach that left arm back to find the left foot, pushing the foot into the hand like dancer pose or bow pose, and really opening the heart and the leg. Inhale, raising the left arm high, straightening everything out, coming back onto hands and knees. Taking 1 round of cat and cow just to even everything out. Inhale, opening through the heart. And exhale, cat pose. Coming to the other side, stepping that left shin forward, turning the toes in, the right leg reaches back, making sure that left hand is right below the left shoulder, right arm raises high. Inhaling here. And exhaling, raising that right leg up. Rolling the shoulders down the back, away from the ears. If you'd like to bend into that top leg, the right arm comes back now, again, pushing the foot into the hand to find an openness in that right shoulder, the abdomen, and the right quad. If you have the foot, releasing the foot and the arm long, and then placing the right hand down, the right shin comes down, and 1 round of cat and cow again. Inhale, opening the heart, and exhale, rounding through the spine. Untucking the toes and rising the hips towards downward facing dog, pedaling 1 foot out and then the other, shifting the hips side to side if you'd like. Again, we've kind of been doing the looking under the armpits this week, so take your time. Just find any motions that are natural for you in this pose. And then walking the feet towards the top of the mat, coming towards a forward fold. Pretty generous bend in the knees. Again, it's the first one of class, so just being gentle.
Nodding the head, yes and no. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows for ragdoll. Placing the hands down. Inhale, halfway lift, leading with the heart. And exhale, fold. Bending through the knees, inhale, raising the arms up, palms come to touch. And exhale, hands come through heart center. Inhale, raising the arms, bringing your awareness to the fingertips, seeing how it feels when they gently touch one another. And then exhale into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold, placing the hands down, stepping back to plank, inhaling here. Exhale as you lower with or without the knees. Inhaling into cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Step or hop towards the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Bending through the knees, inhale, raising the arms up again, bringing the attention to the fingertips. Just using our practice of awareness. Exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, placing the hands down, stepping back to plank, inhaling here. Exhale with or without the knees, inhaling into cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Step or hop towards the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Bending through the knees, inhale, raising the arms up, palms come to touch. Exhale into your forward fold again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, placing the hands down, stepping back to plank, inhaling. Exhaling with or without the knees, elbows pull in. Inhaling into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling. And exhaling. Again, inhaling. And exhaling. This time as you inhale, raising the right leg up. Stacking the hips, bending through that right knee, reaching the right heel towards the left glute. Both shoulders reach towards that left thigh. Straightening the right leg long. And stepping that right foot towards the top of the mat. Coming up to high lunge, so fingertips first, then raising both arms high. And then exhale, warrior two, making any adjustments you need in the lower body, finding an alignment of that front heel to the back arch. Gazing over the right middle finger. Flipping the front hand, inhale, reverse your warrior, left arm comes low, right arm comes high. And then exhaling into triangle pose, straightening through the front leg, hip shift back, the right arm lowers, left arm comes high. From here, we'll move into side angle, keeping this right arm where it's at. You might even use the block here. So bending into that front knee, that left arm stretches overhead. Inhale, straightening through the front leg, keeping low, coming back to triangle pose. Repeating that again, bending into the front leg, that left arm stretches overhead. Inhale, coming back. Last time, bending into the front knee. Holding here for a moment, you can stay here or you can bring that left arm back behind you, palm reaches underneath, the right arm comes under for a bind in side angle. You can always use this with a strap as well, or a scarf, or you can skip the bind altogether. Placing the right hand down, left arm comes high. Straightening through both legs, removing the block, coming into star pose, extending everything long here, reaching the arms high. Then exhale, interlacing the fingers behind the back, opening up through the chest and moving towards your forward fold. You can bend the knees here if you'd like. If the clasp doesn't feel like it's serving you, of course, you can release the hands down. Nodding the head, yes, no, when you arrive. Letting the neck feel heavy. Placing the hands down. Bending through the knees, slowly rolling up to standing. and coming to warrior two at the back of the mat. So if you have only one block, just grabbing the block and placing it down behind you. And then now turning the hips forward, raising that right heel high, coming to high lunge. Finding our balance here. Really reaching that right hip forward. You can even feel the shoulders coming over the hips. Maybe gentle bend in that back knee and then straightening it to find a gentle tuck of the pelvis forward. Inhaling. And exhale, warrior two, gazing over the left middle finger. Flipping the front hand, inhale, reverse your warrior. Right arm comes low, left arm comes high. Exhaling into triangle, stretching through the front leg, hip shift back. Left arm comes low, right arm comes high. This is a nice time to use the block. Inhaling here. Then as you exhale, bending into that front knee, the right arm reaches towards the top of the mat. Inhale, straightening through the leg, reaching the right arm high. Exhale, bending into side angle, that right arm stretches overhead. Inhaling back to triangle pose, releasing that left shoulder. Exhale, bending into the front knee, right arm stretching overhead. Staying here, the right arm can come back for a bind. The left arm may come underneath. Fingertips may touch, they might not, and that's okay. Or of course, you can stay in side angle. Slowly coming up through center, turning the left toes in, preparing for a wide-legged forward fold. This time, just hands on the hips. Exhale as you release down. Nodding the head, yes and no. You can bend into one knee and then the other if you're craving a little bit of movement here. Kind of just letting the torso sway side to side if you are bending into the knees. Slowly coming up to a halfway lift this time. And exhale, release. Bending through the knees, rolling up to standing, coming to warrior two, facing the front of the mat. Windmill the hands down, stepping back to plank. Moving through a flow if you'd like, or straight to down dog. Exhaling as you lower. Inhaling as you open. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step or hop towards the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Bending through the knees, inhale, raising the arms up. And exhale, hands come through heart center. Adding on to that flow, inhale, raising the arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, stepping back to plank. Inhaling here. Exhaling, moving through your flow as you lower. Inhaling as you open, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Raising the right leg up on the inhale. And exhale, stepping that right foot forward. Opening this time up to warrior two. Gazing over the right middle finger. Again, moving into triangle pose, shifting, straightening the front leg, shifting the hips back. Right arm comes low, left arm comes high. Using the block here, if you'd like. Bending into the front knee, side angle. Inhale, straightening, triangle pose. Bending into the front knee again, side angle. Inhale, straightening into the leg, triangle. Bending into the front knee, the left arm reaches overhead. Inhale, triangle pose. Coming up with the block, bending into that front leg and placing the block down to prepare for half moon. Starting with the left hand on the lower back. Bending into that front knee as much as you need and rolling the heart towards the ceiling. So in this pose, our toes are actually going to be pointing towards the left side. Instead of down like in warrior three, they're pointing straight off to the side. Really trying to get those hips stacked, the left over the right. Again, left shoulder over the right. If you'd like to extend that left arm towards the ceiling. The gaze can be down towards the block, straight ahead, or up towards the arm. Bending into the front knee, placing the left foot down, reverse your warrior. Left arm comes low, right arm comes high. Inhaling back to center. Straightening through both legs, just bringing the hands to touch this time. Exhale, warrior two to the back of the mat, windmill both hands down. Stepping back to plank and choosing your flow, exhaling as you lower. Inhaling as you open through the heart. And exhale, downward facing dog. Raising the left leg up on the inhale, bending through that knee, opening up through the hip. Just evening out, because I forgot that on the other side. Inhale, straightening the left leg long. Stepping the left foot forward, coming up to warrior two. Straightening into the front leg. Left arm comes low, right arm comes high to triangle pose. Again, grabbing the block if you have it. Bending into the front knee, that right arm stretches overhead. Inhale, straightening through the leg. Bending into the front knee again, right arm stretching overhead. Inhale, lengthening. Bending into the knee one last time, that right arm stretches overhead. Inhale, coming up to lengthen, moving the block forward a bit. Stepping into that front leg, the back leg raises, and the right arm reaches overhead. This is a really tough and tricky pose, so be gentle with yourself. Becoming aware of what the mind does when it is faced with a little bit of conflict or something that's new. Relaxing the shoulders, flexing through that back foot, reaching that right hip towards the ceiling slightly so it stacks over the left, and then the right shoulder stacks over the left shoulder. Again, if this feels like too much, the right arm can come to the lower back. Bending into the front knee, coming up to warrior two and reversing your warrior. Right arm comes low, left arm comes high. Inhale back to center, straightening both legs, and exhale, warrior two to the top of the mat. Windmill the hands down, stepping back to plank, taking one last flow if you'd like, or taking a taking a rest if you need it, or taking your flow. Regardless of where you are, we'll take child's pose together now, opening the knees wide, hips sit back, toes come to touch. Allow the attention to come to the breath again. That was a tough pose. We're going to try it one more time on each side, just the half balancing, giving the body a second to slow down now to prepare. And slowly coming up onto hands and knees and coming to downward facing dog. Raising the right leg up. And stepping the right foot forward, coming up to warrior two. Before we do the other side, we're just going to try it one more time, right and left. If you want to find a flat wall in your house, try this pose with your back up against the wall as well as your leg and your arm. It'll really show you a way to find a straight spine. I don't have a straight wall here to show you, but it's just something you can try at home. So grabbing the block again, we'll start in warrior two with the block in our hand this time. Bending into the front leg, raising those left toes off the ground. And again, the left hand can come to the hip or reach towards the ceiling. You can stay here, or if you want to try something from the beginning of class, you can bend into your back leg. That left arm reaches back. We push the hip open, Even rotating the heart towards the ceiling a little bit more. Whew. Use the breath to calm down and focus. Releasing the back leg if you have it, bending into the front knee. Warrior two, both arms come to touch, toes turn in. Exhale, warrior two to the back of the mat. Just one more time with this pose. Taking the block in the hand to start. Bending into the front knee, the right toes raise off the ground. Again, right hand can start on the lower back. The right arm can be high. Setting yourself up, rooting down through that left foot and hand. Opening the hip towards the ceiling while the right toes point towards the right side of the mat. Right shoulder stacks over left. If you'd like to, you can bend into that right knee. The right arm comes back. Taking the foot, or just bending both towards one another. Pushing the foot into the hand. Extending everything long if you did have the foot. Stepping the right foot back. Turning the left toes in. Everything comes to center, and then exhale for one more forward fold. Nodding the head, yes and no. Taking a deep breath here. That was not easy. Inhaling. And exhaling. Slowly walking the feet towards center. And we'll sit the hips, or we'll sit the knees down, coming onto the balls of the feet for fire toes here. So we've done a lot of balancing, so I want to give a little break to the feet. So tucking the toes under. Well, not a little break for the feet, but a little stretch for the feet. You can keep the hands forward. If you have a block handy, you can always bring the forearms onto a block. If you want a little bit more of a sensation, you can sit back on the hips or on the heels. Now bringing the awareness to the feet. Without having to categorize the sensation of good or bad, can you just notice what the sensation feels like? Can be intense, it could be gentle. One more breath here. Slowly coming forward, tapping the feet out. And arriving back in downward facing dog. Raising the right leg up and stacking the hips, opening up through the hips. Kind of like in the half moon pose we did. Stretching the right leg high and stepping that right knee towards the right wrist, preparing for pigeon pose. Stepping that left foot, the foot back. Again, if you want to place a block under that right knee, you can always use a blanket or a pillow if that feels better. Tucking those left toes under, raising the back knee off the ground for a moment, and then feel that internal rotation of that left hip dropping towards the earth, and that might give you a little bit more room there. Inhale to lengthen the spine, and then exhale, dropping down for pigeon. You can bend through the arms, have the elbows on the ground, or you can extend the arms long. You have the option to stay here in pigeon, or you can come up onto the hands again. We've stretched into the quad a little bit, so you might feel a little more open to bend into that back leg, and the left arm reaches back. They by no means have to touch, just getting into that quad a little bit more. If you can reach for that back leg, maybe bringing the hand around the foot. Final bus stop here is you can bend into that back leg, bring the elbow outside of, or the foot inside of the elbow, and then the right arm raises. Hands come to touch. If you are judging your version of pigeon right now, bring your awareness to that. Again, it doesn't have to look like bus stop number 1, 2, or 3. We're just going for a stretch. This is called mermaid pose. Releasing the back leg if you have it. Placing the hands down, coming back to downward facing dog, pedaling out the feet, bending into one knee and then the other. Raising the left leg up. Stacking the hips, opening the hips like in half moon. Stretching the left leg long. Stepping that left knee towards the left wrist. Walking the right toes back. Again, take a moment here to raise the back knee off the ground, turn the hips in a little bit, and then place the knee down. Maybe placing a block now under the left side if you tried that on the other. And releasing down to your pigeon. Again, option to stay here or come up onto the hands, bending into the back knee, and that right arm might reach back. If you do have the foot behind you, really reach that right shoulder forward so that we're keeping the hips and shoulders in alignment. If you tried the elbow variation on the other side, bringing the right foot into the right elbow, the left arm raises and maybe fingertips come to touch. Again, just being really gentle here. One more breath wherever you are. And either pushing up onto the hands or releasing the back leg and coming to downward facing dog. Sitting the knees wide, sitting the hips back. Child's pose to release the lower back. Take a breath here, letting something go. Walking the hands up through center, shifting the hips to either side. Extending the legs forward for a moment to come to bound angle. So feet will come to touch, knees will be wide. Inhale to lengthen the spine. And exhale, leading with the heart and stomach. Reach towards your forward fold. If you want to sway side to side here to release into the lower back a little bit, that might feel nice. Just being really gentle, releasing the chin to the chest. Slowly walking up through center. Bring the knees back to center, scooting the hips forward, and we'll come onto our backs. Bringing the knees towards the chest and rocking side to side. Placing the feet down on the ground and preparing for Savasana, extending the legs long, arms come down by the sides. And for today's Savasana, we'll do a little bit of a body scan. So let yourself become really comfortable. And bring the attention and awareness to the crown of your head. Moving towards the back of the head, letting it feel really heavy. Allowing the forehead, the eyes,
the jaw and throat relax. Making sure both shoulders are easing away from the ears and feeling really heavy on the ground. Allowing the upper arms, the forearms, wrists and fingers to ease into the earth, allowing gravity to hold you. Bringing your awareness to the chest and upper back. The belly and lower back. And then the front of the hips as well as the sit bones. Seeing how heavy you can allow the torso to be while remaining in the natural arch of the lower back. Finally, bringing the awareness to the thighs, the glutes and the hamstrings. The shins, the calves, the ankles, feet, and toes. Seeing if you can let the body feel twice as heavy as it actually is. As though you were melting into the floor and becoming one with the earth. Bringing your awareness back to your breath. Then to the fingertips and toes. Maybe rubbing the thumb over the tips of each finger. Bending into the knees. And rolling over onto either side.
Slowly making your way up to a comfortable seated position. Bringing the hands together in front of the heart. Through the practice of awareness of the mind, the breath, and the body, we can then learn to find acceptance for ourselves and anything happening in our reality. Using this practice again to just connect a little bit deeper to ourselves, to show up better in our life for others. Always know that the light and love within me is so proud and honored to witness the vibrant and unique light within each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing awareness with me today. If you have any questions about half moon pose, which we did today, feel free to leave that in the comments below. If you want to connect with me, I'm on Instagram as EmilyHenderson_yoga and also YOGATX. We are on Instagram as well. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.